everyone. Welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. It is 7 p.m. Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 2 out in Hawaii, 6 a.m. tomorrow out in Indonesia, and about 9 a.m. out in Australia. Welcome to the show. My name is Tom Springer, and I am the host of Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. If you are your first time here, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy the show. If you are a repeat offender, you know who you are because I call you my family. Y'all are here, and I have a wonderful show coming on. I have someone on who is new to us, and she has on someone who is new to me. So this is going to be fantastic. So first off, let me say hi to Joe. What's up, Joe, brother? How you doing? Good to see you here. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in Miss Auge. And see, I already forgot how to say his name. So I'm going to bring them on and they can say what his name is. All right. Auge, welcome to the show.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Samari.
See, I knew that. I'm just old. Hi, Samari. How are you? Now, seriously, people, look at them. Do they not look like, I mean, that's like a mini me right there. Seriously. He's going to be hanging out with us on the show. He'll wander in and out, whatever he wants to do. I don't care. But welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I normally try to tell people how we met, and we actually met locally here in Omaha at Mystic Fest. Mm-hmm. And so you were one of those I had to kind of figure out for a little bit because every time I went by you, you had people at your table.
Yeah.
And I had to separate out the energies because how I find people for the show is I read your energy. And if it's a positive energy, I like to approach you and ask, hey, what do you do? Would you be interested in coming on the show? Everything else. And that's kind of how I approach the whole coming onto the show type of thing. But you had a lot of people, so I kind of had to wait my turn, basically. And then I was able to finally to steal you when you were by yourself.
You and your lovely wife.
Yes, my lovely wife that's actually saying hello to everyone right now in the comments.
Hi, honey.
She's right there saying, hi, Asia and Samari. Sorry if I misspelled your name.
Hey, honey.
And then Stuart's kicking in from Texas. Stuart saying hello. But we met there, and you and I basically had like an instant rapport. It was like, bam. It was like, okay, we're supposed to talk. We're supposed to know each other already. Mm-hmm. I think we have known each other before. We just probably had to catch up with it. But yeah, so it was really nice to sit there and talk to you.
You too.
And then we were like, okay, you're going to come on my show. I don't even think I asked a question. I just think I said, you need to come on my show. I don't think I made it a question when I did it. But so that's how you and I met. Now do me a favor. I have met you, but can you please introduce yourself to the rest of the audience? Let them know who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it, and how you came about doing it.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having us. And yeah, he's gonna be in and out because he's a kid. But my name is Auge. I practice voodoo, root work, all those types of fun things. My specialty is divination, so a lot of mostly tarot cards. Mm-hmm. I can also read palms, stuff like that. And I've been it's kind of a loaded question how long I've been into it.
Absolutely it is.
So I've been doing witchcraft probably since I was maybe 3 or 4. It's in my family. We all do it. So I've always done stuff like that. But when I was about 15 or 16, my aunt gave me my first deck of tarot cards. So I've been doing tarot since I was about 15 or 16, something like that. I really enjoy it, and people seem to too, because people seem to have a lot of questions, and I really like to. People have questions when it comes to spiritual, what's to come, you know what I'm saying? And they're looking for what they want to hear, but I want to give you the wisdom. I want to give you the truth. I got an old soul, so that's what I'm going to give you.
So, all right. See, you already got me firing off on questions.
Okay.
All your family. So I want to know, mom, dad, or is it just is it a female strength? Is it a family strength? Does it go back to, like something that's further back? Like you can trace this back generations, or what are we talking about? Family.
Yeah, it definitely can be traced back for generations. I think like a lot of it got muddled in like history, you know, from like slavery and all those types of things. But from like my grandmother, my mom's mom, that's kind of where it started with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's mostly the girls. I have a boy cousin who doesn't seem to, you know, he's him, you know what I'm saying? But my son does it. Well, he's interested and we teach him.
Uh-huh.
That's why I don't know if he was there the day that we met.
He was not.
He was not. Okay. He came the day after the
I
second.
would have remembered him, but yeah.
He came the second day because he really, that's why he's here with me today, because he's a representation of the House of Ori, you know what I'm saying? We got to start him off young, you know. This
Right.
is so it's mostly the girls.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know, simply because that's sometimes it runs through all genders. It comes from the males, it comes from the females as well. So I just didn't know what side. It does seem, from my discussions with people who've been on the show or whatever else, just people in general, that it seems to run normally very heavy in women, mostly. And if it does go back generational, it is women who are the ones who are carrying it on. And for you to be doing it at such an early age, you know, when you're saying you're practicing witchcraft at 2, 3, 4 years old, I mean, you got your hands into it right away. Basically, as soon as they said you're gonna do this, you're like, I can do that. So
I don't even know. I mean, like I said, it's in my family. So, but like, I guess at that age, it wasn't like presented to me.
Mhm.
It was something that I was like, I don't know. I wanted to, you know, my sister was being mean to me, and I wanted to hurt her. So that's the first thing I thought. I was like, I told my mom, I was like, Mom, can you take me to the library so I could get a spell book? And she thought I was meaning like a spelling book.
Right.
Like, no, I'm gonna hurt her.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So Rosie's asking, hi Rosie. Rosie's asking, so does it go better with feminine? I think it runs stronger in feminine, because I really think, because, I mean, let's be real. When it comes to the whole having a kid, guys are kind of one and done. So, but I think it just develops more with the women if it's already running in the family.
Yeah, I think it's very feminine, witchcraft, because you would think like witch means a woman.
Right.
But in voodoo, like Hugun, like high priest, they're men, and they're the ones that are running the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at least in my family, like there's not too many men. Like it's my child and my older cousin.
Right.
And my older cousin, like I said, he's him. He doesn't really seem to want it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard that. I've heard, I've even had on a guest not too long ago. And she was like, yeah, my daughter, we think, may have abilities, but my son might as well, but we're not sure, because he's just doesn't care. He's just like,
Yeah.
So like, he just doesn't, so it just seems to be like with me, like I said, I mean, I'm 52 now, and I didn't show up until 49. So obviously I didn't come into it going, hey, this is something I want to do. I want to play with Tonka trunks and break stuff and do everything else I do. But Stuart's going to get himself in trouble, just so you know, Stuart. He says women are less logical brain. Men tend to think too much.
That's true. It's very, very true. That's very, very true. But I feel like, at least just with me, you gotta have to have both. You know what I'm saying? I would never just go into some spell work. Just I'm so magic, because that's wrong. That's reckless. You know what I'm saying? You have to have it both be grounded.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't think I want anyone with that kind of ability to be just all of a sudden just go, you know what? I woke up angry. Everyone else is going to be angry with me.
Yeah.
So, yes, Joe put it a much better term. He said, "Hey Joe, what's going on, brother?" He says women are more intuitive.
Yes,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
that's a better way. But I know what Stuart was saying. I know what Stuart was saying, but yes, and Nikki will argue because she did in here. My wife, she argued. She says, "I totally disagree with this. I am so much more logical and think way too much." She does. She thinks a lot, but a lot of it is her logic and my logic are totally different logics. Mm-hmm. So, and we can identify, and Nikki knows this. I'm not going to get myself into trouble. Her thinking way too much tends to do with stuff that she's either anything she can't like. It tends to be stuff she can't control, or stuff that isn't coming yet. Like it's where mine is like, here it is. I'm going to work with this right now, type of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's kind of how I work with it. If there's something down the road, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, cross that bridge when we get there.
Yep, exactly. But she thinks a lot. So
me too. Write it down, girl. You got to write it down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So see, and now Rosie's kicking in too. So she says, Nicole Springer, me too. Sometimes I overthink or I get into the details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you just drive yourself crazy,
right? And it's funny too because this isn't too personal, don't worry. But when we lay down and go to sleep, I'm out in like 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. She's up thinking about everything, and I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow. So, right? And so there's Mo. She says, so let her do the thinking for both of you. She kind of does. I'm really simple-minded. Really, I am.
Men are simple.
Right, we are. Don't ever let a guy tell you different. We can lie about it and say, oh, we're really intelligent and we're really this and that, really thoughtful. Lie. Where does that benefit us? It doesn't. We don't care. No. So I'm gonna get in trouble for that one too. Watch my wife's doing. That is not how you are. I told you. I warned you, Asia. We were gonna have squirrel moments on the show.
I love it. I love it.
So, all right, I'm bringing this back. While my wife yells at me. So the witch part of it came first, right? You started working with witchcraft. Best way to say it, first, when you were younger, because that's what you were knowing when you were growing up. That's what your mom and your grandma taught you.
Yeah.
Was that? Is there any specialty, any type of specialty in witchcraft that they taught you? Like I know that a lot of witchcraft people hear the term witchcraft. There's so many different ways people go. They go TV version, they go movie version, they go straight up hippie herbalist version, or they go to like kind of what's a combination of what is actually the truth. So is there I don't want to identify it. Is there a specialty, but is there something that you were guided by your mom to say, here's how this does this, here's what this does?
Well, yes, I do have like a specialty, and I don't, how do I say this?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
So I don't know, when you have nothing, you look for things around your house, you know what I'm saying, to do things, you know what I'm saying, and you use what you got to get what you want, so like my specialty is like kitchen magic. Okay. I can find anything in that cabinet, in that spice cabinet, to not. Whoa! I'm telling on myself. Look.
Wow, she did. That. Ooh, I heard it.
I can think of 100 things in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying, or to buy at the grocery store, to do anything I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the special things that they have at the Botanicas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could make it at home. I can make it myself, and it's way more potent if I do it from the things that I have. You know, because that's what witchcraft was back in the day. Was at least even like voodoo, like you use what you have. You know, so that's really what I do.
So is that simply? It would be. Is it simply because your intent you put into it, or the belief you have into it?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't matter that you're using like 99.9% this versus like 70% of this. You know, as far as clean ingredients, like, you know. So does that, or does it? But it's more of an intention thing, right?
It's the intention, yes, but you also have to know like what is good for what. You know what I'm saying? You can't just pull anything out of the cabinet and say this is that. You know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that if I have like real vanilla extract versus that extract, or that versus real vanilla, like vanilla extract versus real vanilla, and I'm going to use real vanilla, that's going to be the better thing to use rather than just vanilla extract, right?
I mean, it would add a little razzle dazzle. You know, it would add a little razzle dazzle. It's like saying, like, I have the cheap version or the expensive version of something. They're both going to do the same thing. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to make sure that one isn't more potent than the other. Like, it's going to help the spell along better than the other one is. You know, I mean.
Depends who you are.
Okay. All right.
Not from me.
So now you've brought up the other word that I know that people are going to be interested in. And you've brought up the word Vodou, which is how you pronounce it.
Vodou.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Tell us the difference, if there is one, between the witchcraft and the voodoo.
So, this is my favorite thing to talk about. You got me going. So,
I did it.
So, voodoo, what I prefer to practice voodoo is in an awakening. I'm gonna save you your time, you know what I'm saying? But in an awakening that I had some years ago, I was like, witchcraft is not for us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the history of where voodoo comes from, Ifa, from Yoruba in Western Africa, I believe.
Yep,
that is where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? So that is our people. That's what
your heritage. Yeah, that's your heritage. Yeah.
You know, so that's why I practice it. It fits who I am as a Black woman. You know, like those are my ancestors.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because, again, now we're back to the belief system where what they've seen on TV or movies versus what it really is.
Don't even get it.
I'm going to, because so this is something that I actually have some knowledge of, surprisingly enough, is because in all my travels and all the places I've been to, we were actually, let's say, invited to a couple of the ceremonies and the rituals that took place, like in South America and in Africa and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting to see a live, I don't want to call it a demonstration, but ceremony. Ritual. A ritual or ceremony that happens based off of what you expected to see on what you just saw in a movie, or something like The Serpent and the Rainbow and stuff like that. That's an old movie reference, by the way. Serpent and the Rainbow is a movie from the 1980s. Like I said, I'm old, but it's totally different, and it's not. It really is, like most people say. It's there's not evil to it. It's not good to it. It's what you give it. It is what you make it to be. And there's so many people that, even if I talk to people that I know that have been all around the world, military, whatever else, but if you mention the word voodoo to them, they instantly go negative.
Yeah.
Instant. So,
like I said, don't even get me.
Come on, say it. This is what the show's about.
The depiction that they have in movies and TV shows of like witchcraft, especially voodoo, santeria, hoodoo, stuff like that, irked me so bad. and like people's beliefs, it has formed people's beliefs, warped it into thinking that, you know, we're out here killing chickens and sacrificing stuff to like hurt people. And it's like, no, like most of voodoo is protection. You know what I'm saying? I want to protect not only myself, but I want to protect you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would protect your money. I'm gonna protect your land, all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
That's why we're doing a podcast. You can
Yeah.
get started, because I will tell you, I actually had on a lady before. Her name was Dr. Beverly. I want to say it was Dr. Beverly Smith, but she was a hoodoo doctor from California, and she's been on my show, and she talks about the kitchen sink, whatever you want to call it. But that's kitchen sink witchcraft, I think is what she called it. But she goes, yeah, I can make anything you want. For what I have.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. And I asked her, I said, what's the difference between voodoo and hoodoo? Mm-hmm. And she said, well, my hoodoo is really more towards medicinal. Mm-hmm. And it's really designed to help people with sicknesses and stuff like that and everything else. Thank you, Amber. She said, yeah, kitchen witch.
She's a witch doctor.
Kitchen witch. But yeah, so that's what she was talking about, was that she does more of that stuff. Yeah. Whereas what you're talking about is more of the intent to protect and everything else and stuff like that. Or
I do.
Yeah. So it's interesting to because there's a lot of similarities.
A lot.
There are a lot. But it's just interesting to hear what each one of you identify that you do, mm-hmm. even though it's like one letter off from each other. You know, so it's all
in the same vein.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
And Kathy is saying, I've heard that common spices we use have special witchcraft names to keep the ingredients a secret. Can you confirm nor deny that, young lady?
Could be.
Oh, see, Kathy caught you. Joe would like to.
Wow. Yes.
Joe would like to know: do you incorporate Loa into your voodoo?
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. Oh,
you can't see my mother back there.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Joe's a native Hawaiian, so he's popping in to say hi. This is Joe Panogu.
Hey, Joe.
He runs a show called Hawaiian Hauntings, and it's fantastic. Quick plug for anyone who doesn't know Hawaiian Hauntings, go visit Hawaiian Hauntings. Go visit Joe. Fantastic show. Okay.
Yeah, I use the Loa in my practices. The 7 powers is what I deal with. But this is my mother.
Are we allowed to know what the 7 powers are?
The 7 powers of Ifa is, I'm not gonna name them all because but it's like, I don't know how you would explain it. It is our deities. You know, there's lots of deities or Loa, you know, but our 7 powers is our core deities.
Okay. That's kind of like with the Christian religion, they have God, they have Jesus, and then they have their main angels. Yeah. Basically, you know, the Michael, Gabriel, you know, all those. So cool. Okay. Mo's my neighbor across the street. She's asking, do you have a recipe sample? So like, is there something you can share that you might put together for somebody or something to help protect them, to help ward off evil, to help someone who's feels they're in danger or anything else? So.
Oh, yeah. Rosemary is always good for stuff. Rosemary, sage. I guess it just depends what you are looking for. You could put together your own gree bag full of like, you know, like rosemary, sage. Also, I made a 4th vinegar on my TikTok. And so like, if you want a recipe, just go look at that.
Oh, I want to talk about that too. So really quick, because I have it scrolling across the bottom. So I have your information right here on the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. Scroll along, everybody play along. This is what I got. you have like oils and candles and stuff like that out on there as well.
Yes.
So are they designed for certain uses? Are they, I mean, do you have descriptions like what the oils are used for and stuff like that?
I mean, I don't know why I thought that anybody that would buy an oil would know how to use it. So no, I don't have a description on what it's used for or how to use it. So I do have a money oil that, it's money oil. You put it in your candle. You can dress your candle with it. You can dab it on like your wrist and on your like hot spots. I have a love oil that you can do the same thing with that. So
I'm going to give you a little piece of information, young lady, because this is also a learning channel. Stuff I never learned from a school book. So this is a learning channel. When I did talk to Dr. Beverly when she was on here, when I met her at either Holistic or Mystic Fest as well about a year ago. And when she was doing her show, she was explaining to people when like she had little things that were out there as well that they can mix together. But her big thing, and I know this is yours as well, because I know this.
Because I know this.
But a lot of it was based off of pretty much everything you're going to use, you're going to tie water into it because water is life force. Yeah. So if you want to know stuff about your ancestry and you want to share this with whatever, life force is going to be is going to be your water. So make sure water is in this. Make sure this does this. Make sure this does this. So because you're most likely coming back, I'm assuming, to our show, or to the Mystic Fest and stuff like that. So when you do that, I would probably make up little cards and just kind of explain to people what each one is.
That's a great idea.
So just
that's a great idea.
me doing the marketing stuff right there. So there you go. And when you talked about how did you pronounce it? Loa. Joe says awesome. I'd like to learn more eventually. So sure. Joe, I might throw you two together. There's her site right down there too. But if you want, I can probably throw you two together if you want.
Yeah.
Joe, if you want me to, just send me a text because you and I have text already, and I can hook you up with Asia. So we'll be good there. So cool. So you also do tarot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do okay, so there's two different types of decks to use in. There's tarot and what's the other one?
The Oracle.
The Oracle. Do you do both of them?
No.
You're just tarot?
Just tarot.
Okay. Do you what got you into tarot first of all? What brought you into the tarot world?
Well, like I said, my aunt got me my first deck when I was like 15 or 16. She does tarot.
Okay.
I think we all practice, you know what I'm saying? But out of all of us, it's probably me and her that do like the tarot. She's who taught me, you know what I'm saying? I looked up to her. Mm-hmm. That's why she gave it to me. And I looked up to her and she was like, now you can learn. Oh. And I was like, okay. And so that's what happened.
Nice. So is that she gave you your first deck and that's kind of is that kind of one of the rules that someone has to give you a deck?
That's what I heard, that it, like your first deck has to be a gift. I would say yes, that is the case. I don't. Most of the decks that I've gotten are gifts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't like to buy my own.
When is there one particular that you're just like, this is the deck I use, or do you kind of have? Is it kind of like a mood ring? You're like, oh look, I'm feeling purple right now, so this is going to be the deck I use, or oh, I'm feeling blue right now, this is the deck I'm going to use. So
no. The one that I usually use is across the room. I'm not going to get up to get it, but it's either that one, just the regular Rider-Waite, or it's this one. It has like the gold on the outside.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Okay. So that's gonna lead me to ask. You do this a lot. You do tarot a lot. That's actually one of the things that's listed on your site. If people are interested in that email down there or that message down there. She does half hour and hour readings. So
we'll get all together.
And you're really reasonably priced. Just let me tell you, you're really reasonably priced. That's good. But is there a card, just a card that is your absolute favorite?
The star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So explain the star.
Because
tarot is where I'm weak at. Tarot is where I'm pretty weak at. So.
The star is my favorite card, and actually, when people like get a discount from me, or like a free reading the next time if they get the star in their reading, because that's my favorite. The star is basically, it's hope. It's wishing on a star. You know what I'm saying? Having hope. It's also Aquarius. You can see like there's Aquarius is like the water. You know what I'm saying? They're dumping out the water, and that's literally what the picture looks like. And I'm an Aquarius, so.
So that's why it fits you, because that's you.
Yeah. I'm bumping it out.
Is there, and you said it in the beginning, so I'm just asking, kind of reiterating this, because you stated that people come to you and they're like, I want a good reading. And you're like, no, you're going to get what you get, because that's the truth.
Yes.
So I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you just because you want to have a feel good moment for me. Yeah. Is there ever times where you have bent that rule or flexed that rule where you just like sometimes you just went like, you're like, that's really bad. I really don't want to tell this person. So.
Well, yes, I'm not going to say that the person got like a really ugly reading. I'm not going to give it to them as ugly as it looks. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna get you all the way together, but like I'm not gonna break your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times where that happens. You know what I'm saying? And I just be like, girl, no, that's. It never it's not giving what you think it needed to give. You need to go ahead and pack that up.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever? This will be an interesting question, because, like I said, I don't know much about tarot, so I'm asking. Have you ever redrawn after you pulled? You're like, nope, we're gonna redraw. So, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that does. You just had a deck of cards in front of you. Now I know every card game there is under the sun, but when it comes to tarot, I don't know if that's something that you're allowed to do, or you're supposed to do, or what. So, so what?
You're not supposed to.
So what are your? I'm going to say. So what are your rules for the reason why you would redraw? What are your boundaries that you're like? No, I got to redraw this.
You're like, oh no, they just kidding. No, that was a lie. Sometimes the redraw is just as ugly as, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So they're like, no, we said what we said. You know.
Right. You can try to lie all you want, but this is what's going to happen. Yeah. So, and that's what Rosie says. When you get the redraw, when you redraw and you get the same cards, then what do you do?
You gotta tell them. You guys, that's definite. Like
that's message coming through right there.
Yeah.
I'm saying, all right, let's dance. You want to try to redraw? I got you. So
I try to clarify the redraw. It'd be ugly too.
If you redraw, see, watch. That's karma going to come back on you. You redraw, and all of a sudden, you ain't going to see that star card for like 10 pulls. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested in. I mean, you do divination, you do the tarot, you do the witchcraft. Do you have the abilities to see and speak with spirit?
No.
No. Okay.
Or like I'm sure like I do, but like how like my cousin ignores his gifts, like I ignore that too.
Oh, do you?
Don't want...
Why not? Is it just something you're not ready to open up to yet, or?
Well, I
think you got enough on your plate. And...
It's just not something I'm truly interested in, to be honest. And I would never tell people, like people ask me that all the time, like when I do like TikTok lives and stuff like that, and they ask me if I talk to spirits and stuff, and that would never be something that I would be like, I don't know. I would never just tell people, yes, I'm talking to your grandmother. Like I can't do that. Like I can't do that for you. Yes, I can tell you yes or no that you're going to get that job, but right. I'm not going to tell you that I'm talking to auntie over here. You know what I'm saying? I'll never do that.
Right.
I'm not going to play you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've come across, because that's something I do. There's a couple times when people are like, I don't believe that, and I'm like, oh really? Then who's this person walking in? And all of a sudden they're like, damn it, what's he look like? And I'll explain him, and they're like, damn it. So
I would love somebody to talk to me about my like past loved ones. You know what I'm saying? I lost a best friend. It'll be a year ago on the 7th of next month.
I saw that. So.
And I'd love to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But that's just not my gift.
Yep. So yep, it's mine. So we'll talk afterwards. So, yeah, because I can already see him with his glasses and his big old smile, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" So I ain't lying.
How did you know that?
I told you. But yes, so we'll talk.
Okay.
Because he's already like, "Hey, tell her I said hi." So yep. Sitting in the car dancing. Yep.
Okay.
I'm telling you. And so Joe says, so you work with spirits that aren't human then, correct?
No.
No?
Loa is human. They were human, you know, like that's saying like Jesus Christ was not human. You know
True.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Loa, like the archangels were human. You know what I'm
Angels,
saying? Does that make
angels,
sense?
no, because angels were not human at one point. Angels were actually created by God, and then he made man to be in his own image, but the angels are designed to actually watch over us and to help protect us.
I don't know much about it. I'm sorry.
I know, a lot of people don't, and that's fine. I'm just one of those that kind of like read in a lot. I'm a nerd. I mean, I look at this face, you'd be like, there's no way he's a nerd. But hold on, stand by, ready? I'm a nerd. So, but yeah, so I read up on a lot of the different religions and stuff like that. So yeah, so Joe says, okay, gotcha. But yeah, Rosie says you're jumpy. Well, when I just tell her about her friend that she's passed away a year ago, and I'm telling her what he's doing, she's going to be jumpy. And there's my wife kicking in with, I'll confirm he is a nerd. So thank you. Yep. But yeah, it's interesting because I would have thought the same thing. Because like I know that my spirit guides that help me and that talk to me and help guide me, not all of them are human. So I just didn't know if that was the same way, and I don't know if that's what Joe was feeling as well. But I didn't know if like maybe the people who help you read your cards, because you're not going by what the pamphlet told you in your tarot deck. You're not. You're reading what is from in here that you're getting from that deck, but you have to be getting it from a spirit guide, a guide of some sort, or something like that. Does it necessarily? Is that only from the Loa, and is it always human, or do you get information or feelings or assistance from something that may not be possibly human?
When I'm doing tarot, a lot, I mean, not everything is like this, but a lot of me doing tarot is just from like I have like a innate knowing ability, you know what I mean? So a lot of it is just like me knowing, you know what I'm saying? The tarot says it, and
Right.
I interpret it that way, unless like I am told by a spirit, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
not like I would almost guess to think that if it is a spirit, it was a person at some point, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, I know that
But
a lot of spirit guides are people who have passed on. Could be a loved one, could be a past life we've had before, and that person is guiding us. It could be whatever that's helping guide us. Because like, so I've had to reconfigure my thinking very much lately, because I've always identified one of my very good traits is I'm a healer.
Mm-hmm.
That is a false statement. I am a vessel for healing. So something is giving me the ability to heal others, but it's not me. I'm not the healer. I am simply the vessel in which I am allowed to heal others.
That's beautiful.
So I have to consider that. So that's me actually taking my selfishness and what I identify as me doing this and saying, no, it's not me. Someone else is giving me the ability to do this. Now, what is it? Who is it? I don't know. But for me, that's how I have to start to look at things.
It's like our guardian angels. It's like our,
It's something, could it be what some people call God, some people call creator, whatever else?
Yeah.
Is that who's giving me the ability to heal others by using their abilities, but they're just using them through me? I don't know.
That's beautiful.
So that's kind of what I'm wondering is because when you're saying that you have that innate knowledge, maybe that's what's happening to you, and you're just picking up something that someone else giving you that innate knowledge, and you're just reaching back into in maybe a time capsule because you've done this 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're saying, here's how this is going to go. So, yeah.
He's back.
Well, hi, Samari. How are you? Jeff, did you go have dinner?
No, I just grabbed a snack.
Oh, okay. What'd you have?
Cheeto Puffs, but they're spicy.
Oh, those are the good ones.
Yep.
That's my jam. Right? And Joe says that innate ancestral knowledge is fun, isn't it? Yes, it is. And for you,
no,
it is. Well,
it's fun, but it's a problem. I think
it can be.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I'm reading messages. I'm reading messages as I'm talking. So sorry about that. But Stuart's better half, Fabienne, is in here, and she says, right on to the knowing. I had a friend who read regular playing cards. Her guides gave her deep reading information. But
yes.
So yeah, so there's something. I mean,
that's cool that person can do that. Like I tried to do that too.
With the regular playing cards?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I ran into somebody, and that's how she learned
to
do tarot first, was with the regular deck of cards.
I bet she's good.
And she does tarot and the oracle. She does them both.
Yeah.
But yeah, she learned how to read playing cards first. So she learned it, I think, from her grandmother or something like that, on how to read. So it is interesting how it gets passed down. And I'm wondering, I'm curious to see how many people, like your son is picking it up from you. If he's interested, you'll help guide him. I'm wondering how many people just, I'm wondering, sorry, Nick. I'm reading a message right now. I'm wondering where my lineage comes from, because no one in my family that I know of does this at all.
That you know.
That I know of. Well, you got to figure, my grandfather was a Pentecostal preacher and did not believe in any of this at all in any way, shape, or form, and no one in my family does either. So it could be something way further back, but as long as the lineage that I know right now. So it makes me interested because, like I said, my awakening was only 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of falls along the lines with my show, stuff I never learned from the school book. If people who are awakening now, are there people out there that just awaken without any knowledge of what it is or why it is or anything else? Or do most people actually have family that is opening up to them in some way, shape, or form? Because I wonder what the percentage is. Because apparently it's especially with the younger generation now, there's a huge awakening going on. We see it all over the place. And I wonder if a lot of them are, tied to family, and maybe the family just hasn't talked about it before, or if they're just awakening from something that's been in them for 2, 5, 10,000 years, and they just don't have the knowledge of it.
I think it's all of that.
Yeah.
I think that, like you said, that your grandfather was a pastor, but that doesn't mean that his family or him, some people just suppress it, don't talk about it. Don't talk about, you know what I'm saying? And that's it, the suppression to go another way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it probably is always within the family. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just happen.
Right. So if I look back at my lineage, I can actually almost identify mine. I am a very odd combination. I am a Native American as well as a Norseman. So I have those two lineages. Jason, what's up, brother? How you doing? But yeah, so I have that in my background. I know that that's where it comes from, but I don't know the family members who had brought that up to where I am now. Why did it skip so many generations?
Yeah.
To all of a sudden get to me. What made it go away, and all of a sudden it said that guy. That's the one we want to bring it back to. So so it's interesting to see that, because like I said, at least right now you have family coming through and is doing a lot of the work with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say for you, because you're not. You're having to learn. But yeah. So I'm wondering how many people are more like me and I just don't know where that comes from, or I've never had that understanding of that background of where it comes from. Yeah. So my wife is saying, and so is Rosie, and I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry. She's saying, sorry, I'm having to fix my computer. Someone is breaking it, shutting me down. I wonder who it could be. And Rosie said, yes, Nicole Springer. I've had the circle of death a couple of times, had to start over twice. Now, a lot of this stems from the fact that I have to have shungite, which is what this is, by my computer, because I have a tendency to break machines, especially when we're on live, and especially when my spiritual side starts to ramp up. When everything starts, like what I was talking about, your friend, their stuff probably started breaking, stuff like that. So it happens.
Hot stage.
3 names though, huh? For Sage? Okay. Never went by just 2. We had 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Stuart's saying, so maybe it's not generational. Maybe it's a past life. Sorry, I'm bringing us back.
Yeah.
And so I love saying the name, so I'm just going to say it so I can read her stuff. Uilani Ku'ule is also one of the Hawaiian folks on here that I love to death. She says, Dan, my family talked about it. I had my Amakua just show up. Nothing I was seeing and hearing a huge mo'o showing up in your room. Nothing like seeing hearing a huge mo'o show up in your bedroom. Now look, folks, damn it, Ui, Lani, Ku'ule, stop putting on words that you know you're going to have to try to make me pronounce. They do that to me all the time. So
I like those words.
Hopefully I got them all right. She'll let me know if I did or not. Oh, yep. And Nikki did say, yep, her stuff went down right after I described your friend.
Wow.
Yep. But yeah, and then Uilani laughs at me. So just so you know, Uilani Ku'ule, for the simplest terms, she goes by Mary for everyone else. So.
No, I want to call her by the hard one.
Right? I practiced that just so I knew how to say it.
Yeah.
But they gave me instructions on how to break it down. And she says, yes, I got it right. I'm getting good. So that's good. So with what you do, we covered 3. Well, technically 4. Divination, tarot, witchcraft, and voodoo.
Yeah.
What else you got?
What else you got?
I'm asking for a reason. What else you got? I said, I'm asking for a reason. What else you got? I know there's a 5th one in there.
Forgot. I mean, like, people always ask me for advice. Is that it?
Kind
Root
of.
work?
Yeah, root work. And the reason I'm asking is because I want to know which one. Melody's chiming in too when she's talking about Sage. But I want to know which one. This is going to put you on the spot. I know it is. Which one is your favorite to do? Which one are you most intrigued to do? Which one are you most drawn to do? Which one do you enjoy doing the most? Not only for yourself, but for others. Or is there a difference?
Vodou.
Is that the one you love doing for yourself the most, or one you love doing for others as well?
I mean, it's between voodoo and tarot. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Both. Why?
I'm just curious.
You sound like you got something up your sleeve.
I don't even have sleeves. Look, nothing.
I don't have sleeves. You got sleeves.
No, I don't have anything. I was just asking. Rosie's asking, do you carry crystals? Hold on, let me get to Melody's first. Melody's chiming in, said, hi, Asia and Tom. Sage wants you to know that he's there for you in your spiritual endeavors. Hi, Melody. We've already mentioned Sage a handful of times, haven't we?
Sage was my biggest supporter, and the first time I went to Mystic Fest back in October, we were supposed to have done it together, but he died before that happened.
Correct. And he was a character.
Yeah.
And he was a tiny guy. He wasn't big at all. He was a tiny guy.
He was tiny.
I mean, his smile was bigger than everything else, though. Sorry, sidetracked. Getting talked to. Rosie's asking, do you carry crystals?
I don't carry crystals.
Do you use crystals at all?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay. And Rosie's calling me out saying he knows something.
He does know something. There's something I'm not remembering.
There's nothing. Rosie just said squirrel because she knows that a squirrel moment just happened. So I told you, I warned you ahead of time we were going to have squirrel moments. So when you do root work, what are you doing with the root work? What do you do for root work?
When I do the root work, that's basically the medicinal things, because I like my goal is to be a witch doctor. Okay. I do want to heal people and through like root work and things like that. Or, root work I feel like isn't just medicinal. It can be other things too, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Such as like when you're a witch doctor, it is not just to help.
Correct. But you also have to be careful because when you're working on the negative side of things, it can come back to you 5 times more.
Absolutely.
So told you I know a little bit about it. So, but yeah, it's now I got other people. Now I got other people calling me out, like Jason saying it's that thing about things he can't talk about, and Rosie says yes, he gives himself away. Calling me out. See, this is the family I have watching my show. So what my family doesn't know. So Asia, my audience, I call my family.
Okay.
And I didn't tell Asia today. We were just kind of talking. But normally what I tell my guests when they come on is that my family's going to come on. They're going to say hi to everybody. They're going to say hi to my guest, and they're going to make fun of me, which is perfectly acceptable. I would expect nothing less than except for them to give me a hard time. And this young lady that just popped on is Miss Zhang, and she says hello to me and you.
Hi.
And she is the one that when you hear me in the beginning, I do my time frames for around the world. She's our Indonesian friend who pops in to say hi from Indonesia. So
hey, girl.
So yes, so I was interested in the root work stuff as well. I've had a couple other people that I've come across talk about it, and they've talked about the negative root work they could possibly do, as well as the positive root work they do.
Yeah.
With your root work, if you're working in the medicinal side, if you're looking to be a witch doctor, do you have the ability to see and identify the illness in somebody beforehand, before making the medicinal assistance, helps, remedies, whatever it is for them?
Well, the thing is, like, I'm working my way up to that point. I'm not where I should be when it comes to those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It takes practice, and I'm not there. I think just from just my history, I'm usually right. And I think that for the most part, I've helped. If it's something that can be helped, I can help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a miracle worker by any means.
But is it something that you can detect, like before the person says it?
Yeah, I'd be like, that person's sick.
Right, but because we've had someone else. Her name is R.L. Foster. She was on here before, and that's literally what she does. She's actually a doctor, but she has the ability to look at you.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you need to go. I know the doctors are telling you it's your esophagus. You need to go get this checked out instead because it's not what it is. So is that the level you're working towards, that you can actually read somebody like that and then help prepare something for them to help, hopefully, if at least give them more comfort, if not the healing, it's at least it's a more comfort.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. I think that it's important because like the doctors, they do the best that they can with what
Right.
they have to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
But
I'm like, doctors really just throw pills at you and hope it, and try to keep you just going off the pills instead of actually.
yeah,
To me, that's how I am. I think the doctors just give us medication to help dull the effects, but not ultimately try to fix us in the long run.
yeah, and I definitely, I mean, if I can't, like I said, if I can't cure it, which like I'm not a,
Right.
if I can't cure it, then at least like you'll be more comfortable with what I can do for you than being sicker and sicker and sicker at the hospital. You know what I mean?
Yep. Nikki said that's what you thought of her when you saw her, was that person is sick. When you saw my wife.
No.
Because of her cancer. So.
Not at all.
So,
I mean,
she was what she was. She was.
I mean, I didn't look at her like,
Yeah.
That's a beautiful woman, what a
I know
beautiful couple.
you were so focused on the beard, it does attract a lot of attention. So I understand that. So so Stuart, I can appreciate that. He says it depends on the doctor. I never just do medicine at a patient.
Yeah.
But if you go to my VA doctors, they do. And that's what I'm working with right now. Jason wants to know, have you done any Reiki training?
I haven't done any Reiki training. My mom's best friend, Melody, she does Reiki, and she has taught me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think, and I might sound crazy for this, but when I do stuff like that, I feel sick. You know what I'm saying? I take it into their pain into me and give them all my good, So I don't like doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the empath in you.
Yeah.
Where you're intaking their stuff. Nikki had to deal with that. So Nikki is a high school math teacher, and she's an empath. She takes in a lot of their ugliness, and she had to learn how to block herself and stuff like that. And I've had to help people with blockage and stuff like that. So yeah. Luckily for me, I don't take anyone's thing in. I don't know. I just don't have that built into me to get that stuff in. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And Uilani says, yeah, that hurts when you're doing that. So yeah. And Jason says he doesn't even take aspirin with knives in his back. Yep. I know, dude. I try not to, but sometimes medications required for what I have. So yep. So I gotta take some stuff. Yeah, so Nikki's saying there's no stress or anxiety in her math class to absorb. Not at all. Students are always really good in your class, especially on test day. When they want to turn stuff in and say, can I get credit for this, even though it's, 2 times past. Yeah, I know what her class is like. I used to teach in her class. Well, I used to be a mentor in her class. So, so your favorite is more squirrel moments. I'm bringing us back to where we were. See, this is how my shows are all the time. That's why there's no structure to this thing. When you are working, so I gotta ask, when you are doing the tarot, you're reading to give someone basically reading of what their possible future, what's going on with them now, what's possibly going on in the future, type of thing. With the root work, you're trying to help somebody.
Yeah. And with Vodou, you're trying to help somebody.
Right. Well, right. And that's what I say. With the Vodou, you're kind of doing the same thing. I mean, like I said, Vodou can go one way or the other. Luckily, you're just the good one. You're not going down that dark road, even though you almost let the word hurt slip out earlier subconsciously. But, I guess I'm the only one who heard that. So don't worry. No one heard that except for you and I. And then you have the kitchen witch is what we identified. The kitchen witch work that you do as well.
Which is my thing.
So when you do the kitchen witch, that is for helping others as well.
It's for it all.
But it's not really for the. I mean, you kind of said the kitchen witch stuff really isn't right now for the medicinal side. You're working on that for the kitchen witch stuff. The kitchen witch is more for the how would we say that? The emotional side, not really the physical side. Like the emotional, spiritual side, not really the physical side. Unless you're talking about love potions and stuff like that, then you can do stuff like that, or the money that you do and stuff like that. But it's not really for, hey, your pancreas is bad. Type of stuff. It's more like, hey, you're going through a breakup type of thing or whatever else, or it's so because you do so many different layers of stuff that I want to know what it is the kitchen witch stuff fits into.
So basically I do like kitchen magic. You can do kitchen magic for anything, like to hurt people, to gain money, for love, because you got sugar in there. You got cinnamon in there. You can use cinnamon for a lot of different things. Brown sugar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got black pepper, which you can use for dark work. You got, so you can use it for a lot of different things.
So, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. You never have to answer anything I ask on my show if you don't want to.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm reading instant squirrel moment because Stuart is saying that if I didn't have all these crazy moments, then I'd probably lose a bunch of them. And Jason says what makes it so entertaining is that you can find the squirrel emoji. That everything is so close to the squirrel emoji. I know. Hi, Ingrid. How are you? Anyone in your family that you know of ever practice the dark side of things?
We all do.
On purpose and intentionally and only.
Not only.
Okay. More than for good?
No.
Okay. I'm like I said, I'm asking. I'm curious. Curious what I want to know. So
I think it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, you cannot do good without bad. You cannot have good without bad.
Right. And a lot of people will tell you that there is no such thing as good and bad. It's just whatever it is. Which is a whole other story out there too. Let me tell you that goes out there too. Nikki mentioned that she says, you mentioned rosemary earlier, which is what I'm using to try to help grow my hair back.
Yes.
So, yes, that's a good one.
Yes, that's a good one. Very much so. Boil it boil the water, simmer it for 30-40 minutes. Put it in a spray bottle and you can spray it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm just throwing that up at her so she can read, so you can see what she's saying too.
Yeah.
Nikki would like to know. Do you use voodoo dolls?
Yes. Voodoo dolls. I feel like voodoo dolls also get a bad rep.
They do.
Because it's not just for bad.
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes you're using it for healing purposes.
Yes. It's for good.
Sometimes you have to identify the point where it is to try to help with the healing.
Yes.
You're not just always taking a needle and shoving it in there and going, no. There's a lot of positive work that goes with the voodoo doll because that person can't always be there. But you have a representation of what you're trying to get done for the person.
Yes. I may or may not have a voodoo doll of myself, you know what I mean? So, but stuff the ass nice and fat.
But I got that right though, right? That's really what some of the intentions are with the voodoo doll is because that person may not be there now or is not going to come back to you every day, but your intent is to help that person every day.
Yeah.
So by using that constantly on that doll to do that, it's a representation of that person being there every day. So
yes.
Damn, how did I know that? So, yeah, and Stuart said I'm not supposed to make you mad. So he said, don't make her mad, Tom. And Jason said that his guest appearance squirrels were running amok. So yes. And Rosie says that you're going to make one of either me or Stuart. So.
Not at all.
And Stuart said, oh, it's funny because I mentioned this earlier. Stuart said, Tom's easy, just use a teddy bear. So see?
That's sweet.
And Nikki said, I was going to say, can you imagine what Tom's voodoo doll would look like? And she also states, I need someone to make a voodoo doll to heal all of my shit. So,
I got you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. That would actually be like for somebody. Nikki, Rosie says the pins in a voodoo doll would be like acupuncture for someone. That would really be me.
I need that back.
Right? I need that for the migraine going on right now in my head. So yes, I get migraines really bad. I've had them since I was 3. I'm used to them. Whenever this barometric pressure changes, they trigger. So it's a good thing that Nebraska weather doesn't change except for like every 8 hours. So I got that going for us. But yeah, so that's interesting. So have you ever used a voodoo doll for non-positive reasons? You specifically? Like I said, you don't have to answer, but your facial expression kind of gave it away. So
I'm not gonna say an actual voodoo doll for non-positive. Like there's other. Samari, give me that candle right there. I'll show you what I use.
Okay.
Give me that candle right there. The skull.
Oh, the skull. I always wanted a voodoo doll.
Don't listen to him.
I heard him.
So not this color, but this would be something that I would use.
Oh, okay.
For
nefarious reasons.
For nefarious reasons.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you to repeat something, if you don't mind.
Okay.
But Zhang stated, maybe I'm too late to ask because I popped in late. When I was a kid, I watched a movie about voodoo several times, and I was afraid. What about voodoo actually? So basically, she's asking, what's the truth behind voodoo?
So yeah, so she's bringing it back up. I told you.
I know.
To get me started.
Mm-hmm.
So voodoo in movies, TV shows, it's an ugly representation of voodoo. I feel like there's voodoo and there's voodoo, you know what I'm saying? But voodoo, like I practice, is mostly for protection, healing. You know, we always want to bring a person up. There's lots of different rituals. It's like a collective of like energy to like put energy into us. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to church and the music is thumping and the music is bumping and everybody's dancing and clapping around. That's what like a good ceremony would be for us. You know, like it's not a bad.
Right.
It's, you know, like it's beautiful. People have like a really bad connotation for voodoo, and that's really sad. Broaden your horizons. We love it over here, you know.
And it's interesting too. Jason, sounds good. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm reading a message from Jason. He's got to take off. So
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason. Love you, brother. I'll talk to you in a bit. I have a couple more messages, but I got a question for you really quick. Because of the spelling, yours is Voodou. No.
Vodou.
OU. Okay. So thank you. Because the standard spelling that everyone else knows is Voodoo.
Yeah.
So are there different meanings behind the spellings? Are there different ethnicities? Or is that what derives the positive side of what you do versus the negative side, what a lot of the connotation is?
Voodoo, like how they Voodoo, that is like, so that's like the TV movie, like that's what that is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the tourist attractions, you know what I'm saying? It's the spooky things, you know. Voodoo is what I practice. It is the actual spiritual practice.
Okay. Hopefully that helps, Zhang. She said, I remember I said to my mom, why am I interested in knowing voodoo? So good question. Did your mom ever give you an answer there, Mr. Zhang? I'd be interested to know what your mom said.
Me too.
Sylvie states, speaking of dolls, what would be the difference in using voodoo dolls versus a puppet? Are they the same thing?
I think it's about the same thing. It's just the different. It's the different. Who's using it? What
Right.
practitioner?
Is there a difference? I know this answer is going to be yes, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Is there a difference between if you make your own doll versus buying one that is already created?
It's like buying store-bought pancakes versus regular. You bought it. You do it on your own. You know.
Right. But the stuff that you use to bind it and to tie it and everything else.
That's different. Yes.
So I mean versus just going to a store and buying looks like an old sock puppet, they just tie stuff together with versus
that's like stuff that you put up in your room. That's decoration. You know what I'm saying? Right. Always do it yourself.
Right, because some people will think, well, I can just go buy one and I can use it, and I just hate this person, and I'm just going to stab Tom a million times. And it's going to work.
The thing about it is, you want to use like clothes and fabric from that person. Clothes,
right?
Their thread, their hair,
their
toenails. Yep. Put it in that poppet. That's them now.
No one out there, I don't care who you are, no one out there is allowed to ask me for my blood. No. So no. telling my fam out there now, no, it's not going to happen.
Or your toenails.
Or my toenails, correct. And Zhang said, my mom just said, oh, you're interested in voodoo because you just watched it. So yes, that was the mom answer. That was the mom answer. Nikki wants to know, where have you lived besides Omaha? I asked because have you found it difficult to do Vodou in Omaha, Nebraska, or is it difficult for them to at least accept it?
So I've traveled quite a bit. My sister used to live down in Louisiana. It is no more difficult to do voodoo here than it is anywhere else, just because of the negative connotation. You go down to New Orleans, like, yes, that is like the home of voodoo, but it's still very touristy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the only reason it's accepted is because that is their culture, but not everybody down there practices that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's very niche. It's very niche down there. It's got to be a specialty type of thing.
Yeah.
And it is very touristy. Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they know me around here for doing voodoo because I'm like one of the few people that pushes it here.
Right.
So I'm accepted to do it here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm known for. But like I said, like, nobody's doing it here. Nobody's doing it anywhere like that. You know what I'm saying? If they do it, they're doing it on the down low. It's not like a really big community.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know because I do know certain places around the United States. There are very much ill-intentioned voodoo priests and priestesses.
I'm happy you brought that up.
They're not always. They're not like you see on TV when they're always in the backwoods or the bayou or anything else. They are sitting in downtown so-and-so doing whatever they want to do right there in that location. And again, they put that stink on it that people are like, I'm not accepting this.
Yeah.
So, yes, but don't think that you're a rarity here in Omaha for this, because there are a handful, but no one would ever understand how many people there are in Chicago who do this.
True. That's true.
Or how many people in like San Francisco who do this.
And Santeria is pretty popular in like California, places like that.
And who do stuff like this. So there's a lot of people, and everyone just thinks it's down south along the southern states.
New York people do it. People in New York do it.
Yep. So I understand the question that was brought up about and I can understand Omaha, Nebraska, because Midwest farmers, not really a big city culture like what you get on the coasts.
Yeah.
Nikki or Rosie wants to know, what is Santeria?
I also love Santeria.
I was like, oh.
It's all the same. It all derives from the same thing. Santeria. Okay, how I'm going to explain it is when.
Hold on, let me get okay, go ahead.
When the Africans came to the West Indies, they brought Ifa with them, but they could not practice Ifa. They could only practice what they were told, out of the Bible. So they had to practice with the saints and called the deities, the Loa, the saints. So that is Santeria. And the further up to New Orleans, Haiti, it became Vodou.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it all started with Ifa.
It all started with Ifa, yeah. Yeah, on the western coast of Africa.
Yoruba, baby.
Yep. I may or may not have been through there. I'm just saying. So Nikki's asking, so do you have people you can reach out to so you can learn more, branch out more, network with, and etc.? I mean, I know you have your family, but is there another culture out there that you know of that you can reach out to ask questions?
Not really. I have like friends online that practice what I practice, and I feel like reaching out and networking like that is a good way to learn things that I didn't know before. You know what I'm saying? But no, no, I'm really on this journey by myself.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, at least you got your family to fall back on. So
yeah.
So that would be interesting. I'm wondering. So just so you're aware, because you don't know this, but that's what the show is created for. Because I didn't feel like I really had anywhere to turn to, so I kind of created this whole community online, and started the show. So we all had the paranormal world, kind of had people to turn to ask questions and everything else too. So if you're brave enough, you're curious enough, I can help you set something like this up.
I would love
that you started on a little show that you can kind of do. Just saying.
I would love to. I would love to reach out to more people because people are interested in voodoo because I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like friends and people that I meet, but I don't have all the answers. Like I do. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what mine was either. I didn't have any answers.
Yeah.
I was working off of a couple of people who said they'd help me, and then they kind of fell by the wayside. So the community was created so anyone who was like-minded can come to and kind of talk, and we can kind of figure things out. But then we always brought in like one person who actually knew what they were talking about, so we weren't breaking shit on purpose without knowing we were breaking shit. So so that's kind of how the show came about. Now it's everything. Now it's people like you and time travel and cryptids and UFO and alien abductees and everything else on the show. But it started out just as a small community of people who didn't know where else to turn.
Yeah.
And I bet there's probably people out there who would be interested in like, hey, Asia, you know what time it is? It's time for you to start your own show. So just saying, I
was thinking about it actually.
And you got a website, so you can do it from the website. So just throwing that out there. And Rosie's saying, I believe if you were to reach out to your ancestors and ask them, they could teach you more.
And that's really how I've been. Me and my sister, that's how we've been navigating.
Okay.
Yeah. We teach each other through our ancestors. She's 7 years older than me, so she teaches me, and then we, she knows more than me though.
I mean, you still ask your mom and your aunts and everyone else. So
true. Yeah.
Get that core knowledge, base knowledge out of it. So yeah, that's really good. So, well, I think this is a good place to kind of end the show, wrap it up. Okay. We've been going for about an hour, 20 minutes. So whether you know that or not, but yeah, we've been going about an hour, 20 minutes. So, so I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I will put you backstage, but don't run away because I'll come back and talk to you later.
Okay.
After I shut the show down. But I appreciate you coming on, sharing your knowledge, just having a good show with me. Everyone loved you. They asked tons of questions, and I'm happy about that. Thank you, family, for once again making the guests feel welcome. You did awesome, and for asking all the questions. But don't run away, and I'll be right back with you. All right?
Okay.
All right, folks, that's the show. Let me do this really quick. Throw my stuff back up there. So there's my stuff if you want to find me like normal. Facebook.com, Stuff I Never Learned. Twitch.com, Stuff I Never Learned. Or Twitch.tv, Stuff I Never Learned. YouTube.com @Stuff I Never Learned. Gmail is stuffineverlearned@gmail.com. Easiest way to find me is anything that says Stuff I Never Learned, apparently, because I didn't want to make it too hard for myself. Thank you, everyone, for saying it was a good show. I appreciate that. I'm trying to see who I have on next week because I'm telling you, I tried doing every other week, but for some reason, a lot of people started asking coming on, so that's pretty nice. Actually, I do have a small break, which is nice. I have a break until 12 August. So next week I will not have a show on 5 August, but 12 August I will. It'll be a gentleman by the name of Dom Perdonaccini. He was actually referred to me by somebody else, but I did have a nice conversation with him. Just like this, I brought him online to my StreamYard, and we talked and everything else. It was really nice, and he's very knowledgeable, very nice guy. And I can't wait for you guys to meet him. I know it's few and far between that I have guys on. Sometimes it's just hard to find guys that want to come on the show. But again, next week I will not have a show. Rosie, I will actually try to do my podcast for you. But I forgot what the podcast was I was doing. Was it going to be the one about the element? Oh, there it is. Elemental podcast. Sure, I'll do the elemental. I wasn't sure if I was doing dragons and aliens or dragons and angels, or if I was doing elementals. So it looks like elementals. So I'll do the elemental podcast. I'll try to get the elemental podcast out. No promises, but I will definitely try. Other than that, everyone have a safe week. Have a safe couple of weeks. I'm not going to see you for a couple of weeks. If you need me, you know how to reach me. All that wonderful stuff down there. And if you have any questions, reach out. If you want to know more about Asia, reach out and ask me. I'll ask her if it's okay, if I can put you in contact with her for anything that you may have a question about. And other than that, stay safe. Have a great week.